This is Off Track.
Is that a margarita?
That's a bold move for 10:30 a.m. on a Monday.
Look, man, sometimes when you work weekends, Mondays and Tuesdays are your Saturdays and Sundays.
Is May.
This is a gorgeous green smoothie thing that my darling wife made. She makes them a lot. They're pretty good.
So it's gorgeous, but it does it taste like...
Well, no, it's margarita mixed in tequila. It's gorgeous. It tastes incredible. Right. No, it's apples and pineapple and ginger and spinach and kale and turmeric and...
Got it. Okay, cool.
No, it tastes pretty good.
Are we doing the Tuesday episode right now or the Thursday?
Yes, guys. This is welcome to Off Track with Hinch and Rossi. We are both here on a special Tuesday episode. Wait, is our guest here?
No.
Is our guest able to make an appearance?
No.
What? We can't have... How can we have a Tuesday show without a guest?
I mean, he's around in spirit.
Okay. Well, originally planned guest...
He's already at like a job fair, so...
That's fair. You know what? You can't let them just be like leeches for too long. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
at the weekend, it's Monday. It's like you need to start contributing.
I feel like that probably was the case for you growing up, Alex. I feel like that is how Peter Rossi ran that ship at home.
No.
It's a tight work ethic at the Rossi household. Okay. All right, guys. Look, unless you're living under a rock. Actually, that's not true. Unless you don't follow Kelly on Instagram, you might not have seen the beautiful Mother's Day post. That was also somewhat of an announcement post. So, Alex, why don't you tell everybody what you've been up to for the last 9-ish months?
I haven't been up to anything. Kelly has been growing a baby inside of her that's decided to join us, which is it was as, I don't want to say it was as awesome because I don't know that anyone. So going into the day of birth, right? There was a lot of friends that I had the birthday, as you will. There was a lot of friends that I had that were like, "Oh, are you ready? You know, for what this is going to be like and all this sort of thing." And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm ready in the sense that I'm excited, but no, I'm not ready in the sense that I have no idea what's going to happen." They're like, "Well, I could try and explain, but words don't do any of it justice, right?" And you kind of hear that about a lot of things. And it was true times 1,000, right? Like that was, I still have ingrained in my head the moment that you first like see your kid. Like it's like nothing else that I've experienced. So that was
give
really,
it a week.
really,
that goes away. You get tired.
That was really special, obviously. It was a relatively smooth process. I mean, it's never easy for anyone, meaning mom and child, through that whole kind of 3-4 days, leading up to it, and then during, and then after. But it went relatively smoothly, and Kelly was able to come home on Saturday with little baby Ben, and here we are, a family now of 5, if you include the dogs. So,
which we will,
cool,
because we're dog people. Yeah. That's amazing, buddy. Yeah. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
But we have to obviously go back. We've started at the end, so let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
What are we doing?
So
where are we going?
When a man loves a woman.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. No. So this is the questions that you're going to get asked because you and Kelly made a somewhat conscious decision to keep this kind of out of the public eye, at least. You weren't like hiding it from, she wasn't like locked in the house for the last 9 months, but I mean, out of the public eye. No more than normal anyway.
Right.
So the questions that you are going to get asked from people, let's try to knock some of them out. So that way you can just, because we know you don't like talking to people. I mean, people different, but people less so. So
is Ben people?
Ben's people.
Okay.
So
right, just checking.
He's OG people.
So now when people come up to ask you questions, you can just point them to the Off Track link and say, all your questions can be answered here.
Ben's going to increase your audience base.
Which is 100%.
honestly,
about time he started
It's a good thing
contributing.
he starts contributing. Yeah, for sure.
I assume he already has an iPhone and has a Spotify account or an Apple Podcast account and can, sign up for, subscribing and
I mean,
liking it.
Hazel would be
He's
here,
working on
but her
coding
shift
right now.
at the mine already started today.
Right. Good.
Yeah.
A lot of mines
All
in
the
LA.
all the chimneys were already swept. So
Yeah.
Okay. So, was this planned?
were we trying to have a baby? Yes. Was it planned to be in May? No.
Yes, that's actually a very good point to follow up with, because a lot of people would be like, dude, we know the math on this. That was probably a poorly executed plan. So, okay. So trying to have a baby, the timing
who
is
doesn't
suboptimal.
get carried away by the romance of August? You know?
One of those steamy August nights and away we go. Okay. So then how did you find out? And what was the reaction when you found out she was pregnant?
So this is something that I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail because it's none of anyone's business. But there were a lot of pregnancy sticks that were purchased and used for a period of time leading up to the day where we found out. And so, there's some things that happen that make someone go and buy a pregnancy stick, and
Kelly loves to pee on stuff.
She does. Big peer. Honestly.
Big peer. Yeah.
This is a side note, and it's probably TMI, and she'll probably yell at me.
I'm not sure where we're going with this.
No, but
I want to be clear that I was joking.
No. She drinks an excessive amount of water because it makes her feel better, and she was doing it for Ben and during the pregnancy and everything. And also when you're pregnant, you have someone standing on your bladder, essentially, right? She was like, my favorite part of this whole process, minus, of course, meeting my child, was like the period of time I had a catheter, because then I could just drink all that I wanted with no consequence. Like I didn't have to get up every 30 minutes. Like I could drink all day, every day, and it was totally fine. Anyways, so
That's so funny.
Has she considered getting one recreationally?
Oh my God.
Clearly, neither of you have ever had a catheter.
I have not. Okay. So
No, but I pee a lot.
No, dude, she was peeing every 30 minutes. Anyways, you remember that trip where we were in Tennessee and taking a little kind of vacation before, I think, Milwaukee, and we were at a little kind of B&B. It's a little bit bigger than that, but we were at a little place, and we usually try and go somewhere for a birthday trip, but it just worked out that the dates were a little bit before a birthday trip, and so we were kind of already on like a couple's vacation. We had the two dogs there, and funnily enough, we had just kind of done like a wine tasting thing, and so she was like, I think I need to pee on a stick. And she did, and it was the magic of the two blue lines that you're so desperately hoping for.
I thought we were telling a different
times.
part of this story. They were on vacation together. I
my
thought
God,
we were
Tim.
getting a
He literally asked how we found out. So we found out while we were on vacation, and
Amazing.
the dogs were there, and it was really cool. It was very, very special, and it was at the beginning of it too. So for the rest of the time, we kind of got to have a very early baby moon, if you will. So
Yeah. That's very cool. Okay. So now you're a big, happy family to be all together, and you found out. Did you want to know what it was as soon as you could?
absolutely. Have you met me?
I know.
Yes.
I'm just asking the
Yes.
questions.
Oh, sorry.
I
I'm
know
sorry.
the
I'm
answers
sorry.
to these
Yeah,
questions.
sorry.
Alex. Remember,
Yes, sorry.
I've been
Yeah,
here for the whole thing.
This isn't like his usual announcements where James and I are in the dark.
Right.
Because and I want to point out how bad it was that how I found out was in Toronto when I walked on your bus and asked Kelly, hey, so you want an Aperol Spritz? She was like, no, I think I'm not going to drink this week. And I was like, oh, you're pregnant.
Was that Toronto or Laguna?
I think that was Toronto.
I wasn't in Toronto for a very long period of time.
Oh, no, wait. Was it Nashville? It may have been
Nope.
Nashville or Laguna.
It was Laguna.
I don't know. It was, yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Anyways.
right. You're right. It was
Anyways, so did we want to find out? Yes, we wanted to find out immediately. Kelly hates surprises. Like, she demands to open Christmas gifts like on the 20th. Like, she can't tolerate it. I mean,
That's
I don't
a
let
weird
her,
move.
but
Right.
she is just like she does not do surprises. I am a forward thinker. I would like to know things that are happening, not because
You're
I
a
don't like
planner.
surprises.
Yeah.
I just want to plan, right? So we found out. It was funny. I was actually in Vegas at an event in November when the kind of genetic testing results came back, and I made her swear, like, you cannot open this without me. So what we did was I let her open, like, because they also test for, some various different things that could be going on. So I was like, you can open that, but you have to keep the gender part of it out of it. So I was on a red eye home actually from Vegas. I got in at like 5. I got into the house at 5:45 and woke her up, and we looked together and found out it was a boy. For me, I was pumped. Kelly,
Did you have like a? Oh, yeah,
we
okay.
both
so
thought
sorry.
it was going to be a girl. We both thought it was going to be
Okay.
to the point where we had like the girl name picked out, locked and loaded.
Samantha.
I'm surprised the room wasn't painted pink, if I'm completely honest with you. And so when we opened it and it was like, you're having a boy, I was like, sick. And she was like, oh. But
I love the honesty. Because I hate when like, did you want a boy or a girl? Like, we don't care as long as it's healthy. Obviously, you want a healthy kid. Like, no one doesn't want a healthy kid. So don't, like, be honest about it. Don't
hoping for
bullshit.
7
There's one
toes.
you wanted more than the other, And so,
but it's funny. She's loved the process so much now, and I'm sure it probably would have been the same. I mean, I guarantee you it would have been the same if she had just had a girl. But she was like, the next one I wanted to be a boy too. So like, it's interesting. Yeah, she's super attached now to being a boy mom, which is pretty awesome.
very, very awesome. Okay, so we want to know the kid. We know the kid's gender. Now she's a few months in, and I always find this part hilarious when friends get pregnant. What were her cravings? What kind of fun? Give me some funny pregnancy stories or cravings or things that just were like,
man. Okay. So there is one that is like, it's hilarious, and I'm going to end on that. The cravings she had for food were pretty. I wouldn't really say cravings. There was just in the beginning, the first trimester and stuff is obviously difficult with nausea and everything. So she got super attached to like sourdough bread and peanut butter because it like helped settle her stomach, and it was quick to make and easy to make. And so like she always jokes that this baby was made out of sourdough bread and peanut butter. But like we got 3 or 4 months in, and she was like, I love nugget ice. And so for a period of time, like like the Chick-fil-A little pebble ice, like not normal ice cubes.
oh,
but
okay,
like
okay,
the little
ice
the
in
soft,
the little tiny, yeah.
And so in typical me fashion, I bought like a home nugget ice machine. And dude, she literally would be walking. She would be walking around the house with just the little plastic scooper, just shoveling nugget ice into her mouth. Like, so the craving wasn't food per se. It was nugget ice. And so she just consumed a crazy amount of frozen water for the last 5 months. And she's
weird that my takeaway is that I want to get a nugget ice machine.
I'll send you the one. It's badass, man.
Okay,
It's cool.
please do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously the top of whatever one Rossi researched and bought is going to be the best one on the market.
Yeah.
So
Fully
that's
aware.
why, like, whenever I want to get into something that I know Alex is already into, I just ask him what he's got because I know that he's done the work and I can just slide right into the best of whatever it is. Okay, so nugget ice, and we have a nugget ice machine. It's now a staple in the house, which is great. Did you guys go ham, like nesting in the nursery and like painting the room blue and getting all the stuff? Like, did you have fun building all the crib and all that sort of stuff?
Am I still mom and dad's favorite?
No. So we didn't paint the room. We didn't wallpaper. It's very neutral.
Okay.
It's all, our house is pretty neutral in general. So it remained kind of white walls, wood floors, wood furniture. we had to buy some blackout curtains because that room didn't previously have that. So obviously you need that for a baby. She had a lot more fun with her very good friend Hillary Tobin of Tobin Interior Design here in Indianapolis. They had a great time with my credit card, so I think it was more fun for them than it was for me.
All big Hillary fans, you know.
Oh yeah, and then in terms of nesting, yeah, I think like obviously the girl and the mom gets pretty into it, but also like so did I, because you just want to make sure everything is like sorted and perfect before this little thing comes in. So yeah,
knowing you, I imagine like there's a closet or a drawer set up that everything's labeled and placed in a certain way, and like everything,
100%.
like you could walk into that room blindfolded and get all the stuff to change and do. Okay, yeah. Are you good at changing diapers?
yes.
Not at all shocked.
Were you good immediately, or did you like take 3 or 4 poops and figure out your method, and now you're just
No,
dialed?
immediately, but I did practice for weeks leading up to it on teddy bears.
What did you on teddy bears? Did you actually practice on teddy bears?
Yep.
Good on you.
Yeah, I'm
Now
impressed.
here's where it's difficult.
Teddy bears don't move. Real babies squirm.
that's
Nor
fine.
poop.
I don't mind that. You haven't had you've been through this, Tim, but you haven't had a boy, and so when little boys get circumcised, they have to, for like 2 weeks, you have to put Vaseline on them as a barrier between them and the diaper, which makes sense. Little boys also are very temperature sensitive down there. So in the beginning, it was all really straightforward. You know, you would just change the diaper, wipe them, put a new one on, good to go. But now that he's like eating a lot and consuming a lot and everything, he's peeing as much as he is pooping, which is fine.
Taking after his mom.
But the problem is, I was expecting like to the point where we have little PP teepees, is what they're called, where you rest this little thing, where you rest this little thing on his wiener, so it doesn't let it go everywhere. The problem is when they're circumcised, nothing can touch that area, right, until it's healed. So what I've been doing is like, I've been prepared for this because I got peed on once for the first time. I was like, that sucks. I didn't like that. And so,
And just to be clear, by Ben, right?
By Ben, right. And so I've been more prepared, but this little so you take the diaper off and then you put another one or like a rag or whatever over it and wait for it. And then like, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes goes by and you're like, it's fine. So then you change him and everything. And then as soon as the Vaseline touches him, it's like a shower. And you're like, bro, I only have 2 hands. I can't be putting Vaseline on and a diaper and have a little cloth thing over you. So anyways, that's been hard, changing the diaper, because and
you will inevitably hit the point of all parents where pee no longer grosses you out at all.
It doesn't gross me out. What's annoying is before he came, in our bedroom, we had never had a TV, but I knew Kelly was going to be spending a lot of time in the master bedroom and everything. So I wanted her to have a TV in there so that she could entertain herself, right? Well, the only place where we can change him is under the TV. So this brand new TV that we bought has just gotten pissed on 3 times, which like that is frustrating. But other than
should have
that,
bought an outdoor TV,
right?
Waterproof,
waterproof TV. Other than that, I'm pretty good at it, if I do say so myself. Thanks.
All right, no surprise there. No surprise there. Benjamin Kenneth Rossi. How were the names picked?
And
So
why was
Kenneth,
Jimothy overlooked?
Well, we all know that Jimothy is his second middle name, but
Right.
Yeah.
Kenneth was Kelly's late father's name.
Damn, that's better than Jimothy. That's a better
So
reason.
that's the reason. Ben, so it's Benjamin on the birth certificate, but he's Ben. He's baby Ben.
Yep.
Honestly, the first name we came up with and didn't ever find an alternative. Like it was...
You mean like it was the first one that you were both like, okay, yeah, let's add that to the list, and
No.
then there was like,
No.
it was literally the first one.
We were like, what about Ben? And we were like, I kind of like that. And then there was some like, what about Jack or blah, blah, blah. No. And then we just gave up because we were like, it's baby Ben. Like it was a
Just
week.
glossed over Santino.
And it's funny because like the list of girl names was like 60 deep. And so on her notes app, it was like girl 60 with like 2 in bold, and then boys' names, it was 1.
Ben.
Okay. One thing I always kind of found maybe not frustrating, but interesting about like the early days of parenting is I felt like whenever I mastered something, whenever I got really good at something, we no longer needed that skill. Like I would be able to have Hazel in one hand and then like prep the formula the other hand in like 10 seconds flat. And then as soon as I got that down, it was like, hey, we're done with formula.
Yeah.
Was there anything during the pregnancy where you feel like you got it down maybe a little late and you're like, all right, but next one, like here's what I'm going to do different. Did you have it? Do you have anything where you go in and do things differently the next time? No. Just nailed it, knocked it out of the park. Like an
Yeah. Again, it's Rossi. What do you think? Who do you think we're dealing with?
Here's the other thing that was just and we should probably end the Tuesday episode on this little story. So, Diane, the golden retriever, it was a weekend for your boy. So about probably 3 weeks ago, she had to have a little lump on her leg removed and get it sent off to get tested. It was benign, so that is not something we're concerned about currently, but it was a pretty big, they had to remove a lot of surrounding tissue on her leg. And so it ended up being a pretty big incision. And so on Thursday, so Ben was born on Wednesday. On Thursday was in my calendar, you can remove Diane's bandage. And like the instructions that we got, I think on the Monday was she's free, no restrictions. Basically she's good to go. And so I got back to the bus because I stayed in the bus Thursday night after staying at the hospital Wednesday night and cut it off. And it was horrifying. Like it was so bad. And so we have a very good friend of ours who's also a vet, and it was late at night. So I texted her and I was like, hey, what do I do? Like this, I can't be dealing with this right now. Like this is very bad timing. And so she was a star and called in a prescription and everything that a buddy of mine picked up Friday morning and brought it to the track. And throughout the past 4 days, like it's improved massively and it's starting to actually heal and it doesn't seem to be infected and all this sort of thing. It is crazy though, because I was always the person that thought, it's going to be super, like the dogs are going to be fine. Like it's not going to be an issue when that kid comes and all this sort of thing. And it takes a conscious effort, because when you have the dogs, and people told me this and it makes sense, but like when you have the dogs, they're your whole world. Right. And it was funny how one day into it, I felt like I was already neglecting the animal that had been one of my whole world for the past 6 years. Right. And I'm like this sucks. Like, and I had to make a big effort to like rebound with her and like get her back to a place, because all of your focus goes towards Kelly and the kids. So anyways, it was just an interesting realization that I had that like, wow, I have a huge amount of appreciation for two things. One, parents with multiple kids, number one.
don't know how they do it.
Who have like a 3 or 4 year old and then have a newborn. And two, single parents. Like I can't even imagine what it would be like to have to try and do this by yourself. So shout out to all of those people. I'm happy to be a part of the parenting club and super pumped for the journey. And thank you to everyone who's reached out and sent very nice messages. I won't respond, but know that I saw them and appreciate them.
Perfect place to end.
Welcome to the club, pal.
This has been Off Track with Hinch and Rossi. Off Track is part of the SiriusXM Sports Podcast Network. If you enjoyed this episode and want to hear more, please give a 5-star rating and leave a review. Subscribe today wherever you stream your podcasts. We are at Ask Off Track on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, we're at Hinchtown and at Alexander Rossi. If you want to follow Tim, though we have no idea why you would, he's at the Tim Durham on Twitter. Find us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel for exclusive video content. Off Track is produced by Tim Durham, and by that we mean Fim.